I am in. Ah,
The stream
now
is
I'm definitely in. Now I'm live. That's 100%. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another interactive English. We have had some technical issues, but it seems to be fine now. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. I don't have any. Okay, I guess here.
Atlantis.
Okay, so obviously the interactive English is a live English lesson with one of the members of the Achievers Chamber, which is a group that I have for high level English learners. And after a really long time, we've got Lukas back. It's good to have you back, Lukas.
Thank you for having me. Thank you that I am here. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a
anytime.
long time. Yeah, I remember it
It,
was, I don't know, a, wow, a year ago, maybe,
yes.
maybe more than a year ago.
I did check about 10 minutes ago, and the year was 2022, which is the previous year, obviously. Because
That's right.
now it's 2023 or 2023, if you will. So, how have you been since we did the last one?
Well, I have to admit that a lot of things have changed in my life, but probably the most important thing that has changed is that I became a teacher.
Hmm.
And I've been teaching in a primary school, English, and it's still like I still feel like a newbie, like someone who only is starting to teach. So everything is so new for me, and yeah. And on the other hand, I have been enjoying this because it is still a process, and it takes time. So, but
Hmm.
I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where I can be more satisfied with my work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like there's always something,
yeah, of course.
some bugs, in my process that I can change or eliminate.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No, absolutely. It is, as you say, it is a process, and yeah, just hopefully you have the right amount of work, because sometimes what happens with the, let's call them teacher novices or beginning teachers, is that you get first really excited about the job because it's amazing. It's kind of empowering to stand up in front of the class and talk to them and be able to help your students. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But at the same time, this sort of initial level of passion that you have, it could somehow balance itself out later on when you burn out, especially if you have too much work. So hopefully you realize that, and everything is fine with you.
yeah. When I was living in Bratislava, because I started teaching in Bratislava a year ago, precisely it is a year ago now, because I moved to Bratislava in November 2022, and I started teaching there, and it was very, very like it was like a new territory I was about to explore, and I started teaching in high school, and I found out that students are not that interested in English and learning
Yeah.
languages mm, in generally, and that was surprising. But on the other hand, I realized that it is what it is. Like this happens, particularly speaking when I speak about schools that are not much focused on English and other foreign languages.
Yeah. No, of course, of course. Well, the good thing about this job is that this is all going to stand you in a good stead. It's going to be, something that you will take with yourself as experience, and you always have choices in life, right? There are so many different ways you can do this job, um,
Yeah,
really. So you can
yeah.
explore it all.
It was a tremendous experience for me because I was there on my own without my family. So and I started from scratch.
Yeah.
So that was like really. It was a
Baptism
demand.
by fire is a good phrase. Baptism by fire.
All right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very demanding, um,
Hmm.
demanding
Yeah.
time. But I think I made it. But then I felt that it would be fine to come back home and I was looking for a job here in the area where I live. And yeah, I found a job here, and it is like not that I'm teaching in high school, but I teach in primary school
Yeah. So
nearby.
what is the biggest difference for you then? Like how is it different? So the kids are obviously younger. So does it mean that it is more challenging, or would you say that it is actually in a way easier for you?
I have to say that students in primary school are probably more interested in languages. They still have, I don't want to say that they have passion, but they still have this general interest about things, and English is one of them, one of
Yeah.
their interests. But
Yeah.
it's not always like that, because the older students are, the worse it is for me to somehow persuade them that English is something that they will definitely need in their lives. And they always say, no, don't worry, I'm gonna stay in Slovakia. But but I'm like, okay, well, now you are 14 or 15, you don't know what you are going to do in your life. Don't tell
Yeah.
me that, please. You don't know
English
how
is
can you
just
use,
I
yeah, how
keep
you.
repeating it to my Vietnamese students here. It's just you have to learn it in this day and age because it just opens so many different doors for you. It's unbelievable. Like we don't realize it enough, or people don't realize it enough. It's a crucial thing, really. It's almost as important as learning how to use a computer or something like that. You just can't do without it in this world. I think. I really.
Yeah, I
I
definitely, I definitely agree. You just cannot avoid it. You need to learn a foreign language, and I think that English is a language that you should learn and
Yeah.
be focused on in the first place.
Hmm,
Because you know what, as we know, English is an international language, as you say, and everybody says what can I say, in our circles,
yeah.
it's a lingua franca,
Lingua franca. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So very
Yeah,
important.
whether we like it or not, whether we like it or not, this
Of
is
course.
this is a fact. This is a fact, right? It's the language of the internet. Wherever you go, I'm currently living in Vietnam, and yes, the level of English in Vietnamese people is lower. Still they can speak some English here. Even those people that don't really speak it well, they still know a few words, a few phrases which they have picked up to speak to their customers. Let's say I use this service Grab, which is like a motorbike taxi, and those guys obviously are able to say hello to me. They can ask for money. They they ask me where I want to go, and it's like just the basic phrases. So it's just unavoidable. Yeah. Anyway, it's good to see so many people here. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This is a live show, so obviously, as always, you can post your comments. On the right, there should be a section where you can say whatever you want. It could be related to the topic, which then makes it more likely for me to put it on screen, like so. Hakan, one of our new members from Turkey. Good to see you here, Hakan. Of course, Damian as well. Um, Max. All these guys are members. Uh, no, it's my old office. What are you talking about?
I think that it is a thing that you have in your background, something like a blue. What is it? A towel, or I don't know.
You
Yeah.
mean my sofa?
Oh,
It's a
it's a sofa.
sofa.
I'm sorry, it's a
I
sofa.
say my sofa. It's like
Was it
apartment
was it there
sofa.
before? Was it there before?
It has always been there. I don't know
All
what
right
you
then.
got. Well, you have been here. Last time you were here was like 1 year ago. So I don't blame you. But Max, I thought you should know better. Just kidding. Maria Luisa, hi guys. I prefer kids in primary school. They are so cute. You see, for me, the older the better. Like I prefer teaching adults. I don't mind so much teaching teenagers. I'm okay with teenagers, but the younger you go, the more challenging it gets for me, the more difficult and less satisfying the job for me is. And the most important thing is that I know it, I'm aware of it, and that's what drives my choices in life. And you have to be able to stand up for yourself and don't take every single job they offer you. You just say, hey, I don't teach kids, that's it, you know, and move on from there. Anyway, why am I talking about? I guess I'm responding to Maria Luisa's comment. Just going quickly through the comments. Damian wrote, "What are some ways teachers can correct students without stopping them from expressing their own ideas?" Okay, we can come back to it. I first have to introduce the subject, which we haven't done so yet. But you may have seen it from the title of the video. I would like to talk about error correction. These videos are now a little bit shorter, Lukas, so because I have removed the feedback section, which we are gonna actually now talk about it, kind of, right? Correction. So let's get straight down to business, Lukas. I want to ask you. So now this is nice because you are a teacher, you are a fellow teacher now. So that means we have a unique perspective of a teacher, but also it hasn't been long since you were in the position of a learner, or you may still say you are because you're in the achievers chamber, right? um,
That's right.
so the shoe is on both feet now. How does that work?
Definitely.
I don't
I know
know.
what you mean. Yeah, definitely. And I know how students can feel sometimes, because everybody tend to make mistakes, right, when it comes to
Hmm.
speaking English, particularly when it is not your first language.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes you just need to leave your ego behind the door. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
because if you are like, oh, I think I'm an advanced learner, I don't need any advice from anybody. And but no, that's not how you should be thinking about these
Yeah.
things. And well, you as you said, you said that I am your fellow teacher, but I think that you still have something like more, and you're an inspiration to me. And I
I've been
know,
teaching for longer than you. That's probably it because I've been
yeah, but
teaching
but
my
like,
entire career, like adult life. Oh, not really, but okay. Let's since 2011
for me,
officially.
it is like a honor. Sorry, honor. You say this, right? It's a nice to hear this anyway. What I wanted to say is that I think you need to listen to people in the first
Mm.
place, even if they make mistakes. This is like an answer to a question from Damian. I think
Okay.
that
Let's.
let's, yeah, you can start with this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think, well, today there was a class that I was in, and um, they were supposed to talk about one article,
Yeah.
just to rephrase it, just to reframe what they would have learned from the article. And so there was some volunteers, because not always, well,
Doesn't
that
always happen, does it? You are
yes,
lucky.
yes, but there are some people
Yeah.
that they would like to not show off their English, but they're happy if they can talk, right?
Mhm.
And so this student, she started talking, and very nice English. I have to say, but I was aware that she was making some silly mistakes,
Yeah.
but I got the idea. I exactly knew what she was talking about. Sometimes she missed, what is it called? Well, she
Preposition,
was supposed to say something.
article. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. Or she was supposed to say something in the past simple,
Yeah.
because she was telling me something. And but I wasn't like, okay, stop, 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 no, 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 or
Yeah.
I wasn't interrupting her.
Mhm.
And at the end of this session that we had together, uh, I told her, okay, that's very nice. Be careful about this.
Yeah.
And she was
This
like,
is this
okay,
is this is one way of doing it. Like I
yeah,
really like it. I do it myself sometimes. It's called delayed feedback. Yeah, and there are different ways to do it. And then you also it really depends on what the activity is. So as you said, if it's about expressing themselves, the
Hmm.
learners, students, or if it's to do with fluency, which I think is still underrated. There should be more
Hmm.
activities done by teachers to do with fluency. It's
Hmm.
still too grammar focused
That's
and
right. Unfortunately, I
accuracy,
have to agree
accuracy
with you.
focused,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And you can see, I can see it here in Vietnam as well. The sort of, I don't want to say my colleagues here, but like it's like the whole system, the environment. Yeah, it's just different. And so there is time for immediate feedback as well, in my opinion. It
Hmm.
can be very useful because everyone can learn from it. You just have to do it in a way that it doesn't sort of put the student down, right? You don't want to put the student down. You want to make them feel good about making that mistake and being corrected, not as if they are being punished for something, or make them feel really bad about themselves, right? You don't
Yeah.
want that.
No.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And precisely as you said, I think it depends, right, on the situation. So when it comes to reading, I think the immediate correction is there, like short after they they
What
read
do you
out.
mean when you say reading? You mean reading out loud? You mean?
Precisely, reading out
Okay.
loud. Yes.
So that
So
would be, so you're mostly correcting their pronunciation in that case.
precisely, yes. And
Yeah,
sometimes
okay.
we come
Yeah.
across a new word, so it's good
Mm.
to know what it means, right?
Yeah.
That new word from them. And so I'm trying to explain to them. I'm trying to explain this new word in English first, but it depends on their level. So in lower grades, I have to admit I just say this in my first language, because it's very challenging to describe a word when they don't have vocabulary, right, for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So you should appreciate the fact that they are even talking. Exactly. So that's the thing. You have to sort of, it's a balancing act. You have to know what to do as a teacher, yeah? And there's no one solution. Like it doesn't, or one, let's say one size doesn't fit them all. Yeah,
Hmm.
you have to know when to use what. You have like these sort of power or this tool at disposal, and you sort of sometimes expect it to do that, but you shouldn't always do that. It's really interesting, and it's, yeah, it's something to learn really, and something to get better at as well.
Yeah,
Um,
as you said, you gain this from experience as well. Uh, because sometimes
it's
yeah, it is like that.
theory as well. It could be theory as well. You also studied at school, at university, or CELTA, Delta, all these sort of courses for English teachers. They teach you all this there as well, but then you have to apply it as well and see if it works or not, and how you approach it and stuff like that. But let's address exactly this. So what are some ways teachers can correct students without stopping them from expressing their own idea? So I guess immediate feedback, as you said. Then you can sort of hint at something in a subtle way, right? You don't want
Yeah.
to like say stop, wrong, mistake. You don't want to do that, right? But if something isn't clear, if this mistake sort of prevents understanding of something, what you would do is you would sort of ask the student to repeat it, or you would sort of play dumb. You would say, "Excuse me," or "Sorry, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that." It's just
Mm-hmm.
sort of, it's natural conversation, right? So they will try to rephrase it, or they might realize that they did something wrong. Oh, can you think of anything else, Lucas?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with this. Yes, with you. Yeah, you have these ways how to correct them, not how to correct them. You have these ways to correct them.
This was, by the way, everyone's self correction. This is another
Yes,
type
yes.
of
Also,
correction.
we could use self-correction. But
Is
I
the
think
best, by the way. Is the best one.
yes, and I think my students are not there yet. Maybe some of them they are,
Hmm.
but I know that their English is about
Yeah.
when it comes to uh,
It's not only about English, Lucas. It's about like the level of sort of thinking, like how far they
mhm,
are in terms of abstract way of thinking,
mhm,
and this is something they have to acquire. It's not easy, to be. It's like self awareness, right? It's self
mhm,
awareness.
mhm.
It
Do you think that
it
it
takes
comes?
ages to get there.
do you think that this comes with age, with aging?
Absolutely, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Because let's be honest, like when you are, I don't know, 12, 11, 13, you're driven by, I think, hormones and things like that, right? It's not really you. It's like the social status, your classmates. You don't want to embarrass yourself, and you want to be the cool guy or something like that. Or on the other hand, you don't want to say anything at all because just to prevent getting embarrassed. It's all sorts of things except doing the right thing, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
Okay.
there's anything else to add.
Yeah, there's like things like echoing. Yeah. So
Mhm.
you might sort of
Or
repeat what they
repeating
say.
as well.
You
Repeating.
repeat what they say,
Yeah.
and in a sort of inquisitive manner. So I don't know. Let's say they say he come to school every day. You say he come to school every day, and
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
will be like, well, why is he talking like that? Ah, there's something wrong with that, I guess. Or
Mm.
I used to know one teacher who had this like like a toy, and it would make this squeaky sound. I think it was some sort of chicken or something, like a long chicken. And every
Okay.
time a student would make a mistake, she would just squeeze the chicken. And it would produce this horrible sound. At least it was funny, but I don't know. There's some ways to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. But I think repeating is a way to improve your pronunciation.
Mm,
'Cause if they mispronounce something, if they mispronounce like a word that are not they don't know yet,
mm,
so I just stop them because I just want them to know how to pronounce this word,
yeah.
right? So I have to stop them. Otherwise, my
Well,
place
yeah.
is there pointless. You know what I mean? Like I'm like
Uh,
not
again, I would
use.
say it. Hmm. Again, I would say it depends. Like if
Of course, it's not
if
every in
if
every
it's
situation.
mispronounced in a way that it sort of leads to a communication breakdown and that people don't understand each other, then yes, you have to do it, right? But if it's like a minor sort of pronunciation error that can be overlooked, or that is some sort of result of the L1, which is like their mother tongue, which like a common thing that students of that language make, then you can just address it kind of later. Yeah, it really depends, in my opinion. But I can ask you about this. So you're talking about correction, but so what should be corrected? So you're talking about pronunciation here. What
Mhm.
else can we correct as teachers, and what else should the learners be corrected on?
I think in the first place when they talk, I think it is pronunciation, right?
Mm,
Then I think when they read out loud, also pronunciation. And when it comes to grammar mistakes, like when they use incorrect verb or phrase or incorrect tense,
tense. Mm.
yeah. So I think that you should stop them, but as you said, it depends because
Yeah.
if it's a story that they want to tell you, so you shouldn't be bothering them with this issue, right? But after shortly after that, you should say, okay, well, I think this should be like this should be like that, and please work on that, and I think it can be more beneficial. But if it's like a short text that they are supposed to read, I think that we can dive into this text immediately, and
Mhm.
we can do uh like we can how to put it. Yeah, I think it's mostly about pronunciation, I guess. And well, you have these tests. Well, we have to take tests, and
What,
it is
what test?
also
What test are you talking about? Sorry.
grammar tests.
Ah, okay. Oh, it's like something your school. It's like a school requirement.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
After every
Unit. Yeah.
unit, yes, you
Yeah.
usually take a test.
Hmm.
So and you just go through the test. Um, let's say beforehand, but they don't have this test beforehand, obviously. But you are focused on things that can be in your test.
Right. Yeah, that's what you
and
sort of like teach and practice with them and
and
go through.
and I
Mm.
know that I have students, and they are I think 10 years old, I guess, and I'm surprised because they still have a problem with the third person singular when it comes to he
Uh,
has, she
what
has.
you mean? They still have a problem with that?
Yeah.
You haven't taught supposedly upper intermediates Vietnamese students then yet,
Mm.
who are studying to get at least like 6 or 6.5 or maybe even 7 in the IELTS exam, and they make these mistakes too. It's one of the most common mistakes. It's one of the most common mistakes to make. This one, to omit the s in the third person singular. Believe me, it's just so common.
So that's
Yeah.
why I'm trying to teach them this. So
Mm.
I think we have had, I don't know, 5 lessons or 6 lessons altogether focused on he
Really?
has, he has, it has,
Oh
like
my god.
my mother has. Because if there is no he, she, it, if there is like my mother, your father, your sister, they still use have for some reason.
But let me just oppose to you a little bit. Would you say that when they do use it like that, does it prevent understanding?
Definitely not. No.
Yeah, that so this sometimes this is something to realize, because it's the same. It's interesting. Like here in Vietnam, they don't have plural. They just say number and the word, but there's no like the, the words in Vietnamese. They don't have like special plural form or anything, which means when they speak English, they often just ignore plurals.
Mm.
And that's also annoying as a teacher to hear that all the time. But then the more I teach these guys, the more I realize that it doesn't matter so much as they are able to communicate and express themselves. And of course, I will try to help them with this, but it's not the be all and end all. It's like not the most important thing here.
Of course, yeah, you know, you always want to get your message through, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I totally agree. But on the other hand, I have to say that if you still hear this mistake, I think that they still need to repeat what is it called? To repeat what we have learned so far. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Like
repetition is always helping you.
revision, review.
Revision,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I agree, but I agree to some extent.
of
I,
course.
I think I think there's so many things to learn. So many things to look at,
I
and you
think that
just
from
uh,
your perspective, because most of the time you work with adults, and they probably
not
are
here in Vietnam. I teach teenagers now, so
teenagers. Okay, so is it same
yeah.
for you, like that you just leave it, that you don't like
The
pay
thing
attention?
is, Lucas, I believe that when you learn English, it's like spiral learning. Yeah. So you
Mm-hmm.
you it's like a spiral. So you come across something for the first time at the very basic level. It could be this third person singular. You learn it at the elementary level, and then you will come back to it later at a later stage. So it's not necessary to perfect it, in my opinion, because as you are learning English, there's so many other things to focus on, including skills. And the biggest issue of teaching in our parts of the world, in Eastern Europe, and even if you go further to Asia, has been that it's too grammar focused.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And
Yeah.
as a result of that, there is lack of confidence,
Mm.
and like the fluency is just leaves much to be desired, let's say. And it should be about, like I said, being able to get your message across, being able to communicate, being confident, right? Believing in yourself, believing in your ability. This is, I think, detrimental if you focus on grammar too much.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all had those teachers. I think if you correct every single thing, you will have like this teacher in your head every time you try to speak. Yeah? It will be like your obstacle. It's
Yeah.
something that will always stop you from believing yourself and moving forward, right? And that's what you need. So I think it's about balance, right? You need, in my opinion, you need correction as well. Because some people would say like no correction at all. So I'm not one of those people, by the way. I like correction. I just do it a bit differently now. For example, in the Achievers Chamber, I have changed things around. Now these days, I just make notes as you guys join my events, or your events. You do have your own event. We must not forget to mention it. Um, I make notes, and then once a week I publish a podcast for the members, only for the members. It's not a public one, and I just go through the mistakes that you guys make, including maybe something that I noticed in this YouTube live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I think that the thing is that you need to, as you said, you need to find a balance, because if you correct them all the time, it's not working for anybody. You're annoyed, and your students are annoyed as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the point then, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
you stop enjoying it. That's
yeah,
one thing, because it's like it gets emotional a bit. They might start thinking it's personal or something, even like that, right?
and that's why I'm trying to create a safe environment there. So
Hmm.
even if you make a mistake, it's okay.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm not making fun of them. That's like a very stupid thing
that
to
would
do.
be the worst thing to do. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
worse, yeah. And so
Unless I find there are moments when you do that, but that's like when everybody laughs, and including that student.
very
Like,
funny, yeah. You
yeah,
can, of course, but that's a different
there's
thing,
a
right?
different thing. Yeah, yeah.
But if
Hmm.
you're like staring at them and no, it's not okay. What are you doing? I told you many times, don't use this. Use
I think
well.
these teachers, they're about to they're about to go to some mental institution, or they should just quit their job. Like, why are they even doing this job?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. On the other hand, we have to say that we are human beings as well. Sometimes you just, it's like, oh well, really, really, again, the same mistake. Are
Yeah,
you
no,
sure?
no,
Yeah,
of course, yeah, of course. You
yeah.
just need to like take it take it easy sometimes as a
Take it
teacher,
easy.
or if you
Yeah.
don't, you just I think you're gonna be disappointed doing this job, basically.
Yeah, and I say to them that if they work on their English every day for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes even,
Yeah.
I think that they get better. You know what I mean? Like it is something they don't do at home, and that's a problem then, because then they are unprepared.
Mm.
They are not aware of what we were doing last time, because they haven't opened their textbooks or notes, and
Yeah.
it is sometimes very challenging to do the same thing that we did the last time,
Mhm.
only because they were lazy to open their textbooks or their notes.
Yeah.
So sometimes this is like a thing that I do not like much. So
Mm.
in every class that I have, I highlight this. Please, 10, 15 minutes. If you do this every day from Monday to
Yeah.
Friday, I will guarantee you that you will be better. Believe me.
Oh, it's true. It's true. But the problem is like, I remember the times of being a student. Is like when every single teacher wants this from you, right? So it's like almost like a battle, and they always. I think that the one that is the strictest, or the one they fear the most, is they're gonna prepare for that. But I don't know. I could be wrong. In my opinion, I see myself as someone. If I ever teach kids or younger people, it's super important for me to motivate them, to inspire them, and to make them fall in love with this subject, right?
Mm,
So it's not always about correcting. It's not always about being angry or like being unhappy with. No, you have to be positive. You have to always try to look on the bright side and show them why they should learn this and how fun it can be.
How
You know,
beneficial. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, absolutely.
I think I think what you are trying to say is that they should be involved. Like I think
Yeah, yeah,
that
engaged.
involvement part is something like that every teacher should work on,
Yeah. No, of
because
course, but it's
it's
not easy.
easy.
Not easy. Not yeah. Not every. It's a little bit innate, in my opinion, right? So there's sort of like you have a bit of talent for that. Of course, you can learn, but it's like in life. Yeah, some people are funnier than others. Some people are more entertaining than others. Some people are more sociable and being able to inspire others than others, right? So, and you have different kind of teachers and different kinds of teachers, and there's not just one way to do it as well, right? So let's be
No.
honest, it's about sometimes meeting those targets and having results. This can be done in different ways. Some people just inspire fear, others just I don't know, just do it more naturally. Really don't know. Anyway, I don't think we have much more time. I had some more questions here, but I think we've spoken enough. There are a lot of comments. I'm sorry, guys. I can't really go through them all. But thank you so much. Whose comment haven't I put on? I think Enriquez, right? Enriquez. So I need to put Enriquez comment on. Enrique is our new member. He's our only non-European member, which is pretty cool. He's
Mm.
from where is he from? From Colombia.
That's right. Yeah.
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 Okay, Lucas, thank you very much for talking to me about this, and yeah, good luck teaching. I'm speaking to myself as well now. Good luck to us. Good luck to us teaching. And yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching this. If you did enjoy this live stream, please give it a like. And that's all from us today. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good